Hey, what's up, guys? So, in this video, I want to talk to you about something extremely important. Maybe the most important thing that I have ever discussed on any video. Okay, and that is what is currently happening right now, not only in the United States, but among all the nations of the world. And that is extreme overreach and grab of power from the government to and against its own people. Okay? Now I'm going to focus specifically on America because I'm American, I'm born here, and this is the nation in which I live and in which I have the most concern for. All right? And I want to start by letting you guys know or reminding you that our government was created by us, by the citizenry, by the people, in order to ensure that our rights, which we determined for ourselves, that man has certain rights, are protected. Okay? Protected from other citizens violating those rights and protection from other nations violating our rights. At no point did we create or even suggest to government that their purpose is to control us and tell us what to do. So this is a very important aspect of this discussion because without this part of it, none of it will make sense. Okay? This is the part that needs to be emphasized. It's the equivalent of me hiring someone. Me hiring an attorney, for example, and paying him his fee. Even though he claims to have the expertise and I am paying for his expertise, knowledge that I don't possess, regardless of the fact he is my employee. I'm paying him. So no matter what he wants, no matter what he says, ultimately the decision as to what he'll do has to be from me because I'm paying him. And in essence, it's the exact same thing. We are paying the government to do what they were intended to do originally, protect us. That's it. That's it. They were never ever asked to do anything more than that. But since these times, when government was first granted some power. Now keep in mind that power was only granted in order to protect our rights, nothing more. They have gone so far and the government has grown so big that now the people, we, the citizens, for the most part, are afraid of the government. They have grown so violent and so ruthless in their tactics that we're afraid of them. Imagine my being afraid of an employee of mine that I hired, that I created the position for. I can't be afraid of him. It doesn't make any sense. It's not practical. But that's the case as to what happened here. People forget why they're there in the first place. You could tell this by the way that police officers act and interact with citizens. They talk to them in a way as if they are above them, that they're more valuable than the average person. They talk down to them. You can tell in the way they actually restrain them on the occasions when we do give them the right and authority to arrest people if they break one of these laws that we made. But they don't have to do it in such a hostile way, an aggressive way. And that aggression that leads to police shooting people and killing people or beating people, abusing people, it all is the same type thought process that the government has towards us. They don't care about us. They have lost respect for the relationship, the balance of the relationship from us, employer, to them, employee, has now been reversed through force and threats and violence. They will come, send their people down, and beat you and chain you and take you away and put you in a cage if you do anything outside of what they tell you to do. So when you hear it in this way, I hope you guys are starting to realize how wrong this is. And with any power granted any person, there will always be abuse of that power. Okay, that's just reality. That's the way it goes. But the levels to which they've abused their power have gotten so disgusting and have become such an unbelievable controlling aspect of our lives that we must put a stop to it. We have to. We have no choice. If we continue now at this point in our lives to allow the government to put fear in us and to control us and to dictate to us what we do or do not do, even what we say, they want to control us through laws. This will never end. And we will become slaves of the government. That's what's happening now. Imagine the time that I was speaking about earlier, the inception of government and the concept of it and the people who basically created the situation of government with citizens. Imagine at that time someone telling them that this government that you're putting in place, these people that you're empowering to protect you and guarantee that your rights are not violated, will one day become such a gigantic machine of oppression and control, they will totally dominate your lives. They will take 50 cents of every dollar you make. They will force you to pay taxes on your properties even after you've paid off the entire purchase price of the land and the home or the building, whatever it is. Every year you'll pay more and more and more. They will create laws where things that are of nature, plants that grow on the earth, if you possess them or you consume them, they will take you to cages and put you in prison. They have this kind of unbelievable power over us now where they tell us where we can go. Imagine those same people back then hearing that the government will one day force us to stay in our homes and tell us you cannot come out. That same government will tell us you cannot go to work. You cannot do anything. You must wear these masks. You must do as we say. What's coming very shortly, you must take this vaccine. You must allow us, not allow anymore, okay? Because they have created legislation granting them authority in H.R. 666, House Resolution 6666, 4 sixes. That piece of legislation grants the government the power to come into our homes at any time and forcefully vaccinate us, inject us with things that we don't want. It also allows them the power to remove any one of us and take us away. Your children, your mother, your father, your siblings, yourself, take you away and put you in what they call quarantine camps, whatever that is. Sounds like prison to me. I'm not there voluntarily. I want to leave. I want to go home, but you can't. And imagine what those people back then would have done if they knew what the government would ultimately end up becoming. They would have never, ever created them in the first place. They would have to be fools to do so. So what is it that's happened in this time, from that to now, where we find ourselves in this position that I'm describing to you? where we have no control anymore. We can't even speak freely anymore. Freedom of speech is the first rule. You cannot remove someone's freedom to speak and articulate their thoughts, regardless of whether those thoughts hurt your feelings, regardless of whether those thoughts are contrary to what the government and the mainstream want, or what they're saying is true. We're not even allowed to have discussions anymore. If you notice, I read a lot of news columns and all different platforms. A lot of these platforms are removing the ability to even leave comments anymore. There are no comments. The biggest platform for sharing information, the one you're sitting on watching me now, YouTube, along with all the other giant platforms, are censored so much to the point that I've had at least a dozen videos removed. Think about what they're telling us. You're not even allowed to talk about these certain things. You cannot talk about certain things. This is not freedom, what we have here. This is not. This is tyranny. This is a class of citizen and human beings that are being dominated with force and fear and violence by the people that they employed to protect them in the first place. So what has to happen? There's a lot of problems in answering what has to or what can happen. What are the answers here? Where's the solution? And the first problem I see is that there are no strong people, strong enough of the youth especially, to stand up to this shit. Because that's how it usually goes. The young people come together and say, fuck this. We're not listening anymore. This is too much. But they've taken over the entire school curriculum. They've taken over and owned the entire media. Every single platform from which you can obtain information, they own and control. And they feed you what they want you to know and hear, and omit what they don't. So, where do we go? The young people are way, way too soft. They've been brainwashed to thinking that there's something special, but having accomplished nothing. They have no ability to stand up. But there are other men out there, and women, who do have the strength and do have the ability and the willingness and the understanding of what I'm saying enough to the point which they will stand up as well. And that's what this video is about. I don't want to be this person involved with anything like this. I don't want to lose my life. I know how this shit goes. If you speak truth too much, too loudly, to too broad of an audience, they will stop you. They will stop you one way or another. Usually it's first attack of character. They'll destroy your character and lie about you. Then they'll come at you with one of their alphabet agencies, IRS, FBI, CIA, whatever, to come try to destroy you like that. Then they take you to jail, put you in prison, try to destroy you like that. And if that doesn't work, and you're still of a position of influence enough where other people are starting to question the government as you are, they will resort to murder. They will kill you. And that's why I don't want nothing to do with this shit. But I don't have a choice, because I don't see anybody else saying anything about this. I don't see anybody else willing to stand up like this. So if it's me who's going to start this movement, let it be. But I can't do this shit by myself. I need your help. All of your help. If it's not you individually, if you're not the one, you must know someone. Who is the strongest person you know in your entire existence? Share this video with these people. And let us start communicating amongst ourselves and start creating an alliance of like-minded people, the strongest of the strong, the most moral, the most truthful, the most fearless of all, need to come together to start the process of stopping this giant, evil, sadistic machine called the government that is destroying us. They are destroying our lives. They have destroyed a century's worth of progress by shutting us down through force and threats of violence and imprisonment. I never thought I'd live to see the day that the government would tell people, you cannot work, you must stay home. But we still have to pay our bills. We still have to buy food. We still have to cover all these things. So we're already slaves. But how much further are you going to allow this to go? We're slaves now. But what they're trying to do and what they are doing right now in this moment in time is some next level type control. It is horrible. It is evil. And they will continue to grant themselves more and more power while enriching themselves and stealing from us all. They're stealing from us. They're taking all our money away. Everything we work for. That 50% that I mentioned earlier, that they take half of every dollar you earn, that's collectively, when you total the taxes, at least in the area that I live. But that's not the end of it. People only tend to focus on the taxation part and that percentage. That's just a number. That's just a word. But there are other means through which they are taking so much more than you're even aware. And they are taxing us basically at a much higher rate. And the way they're doing that is through inflation. They've taken the currency of our nation, the dollar, and destroyed it to the point where 40 years ago you could buy a brand new car, a nice brand new car for $4,000 or $5,000. And now the cheapest car you can buy is probably around $30,000. And this applies across the board to everything. The costs of everything have gone up so much to the point where we can't even live anymore. Everyone has to work. Mom, dad, everyone. And we're still broke. So there's your taxation. Forget about the percentage. Stop arguing about bullshit numbers. They're taking everything. And now they're coming in to do something completely different where we're going to be done. We're going to have no freedom left. We're going to have no future left. The happy times of this nation are behind us. We need to stop this shit. And we need to stop it now, before it gets too late. And unfortunately, to stop it, there's going to be a lot of price to pay. A lot of sacrifice to be made. And that includes some of us are going to be killed. Some of us are going to be put in prison, probably for the rest of our lives. Some of us will have our characters, our reputations destroyed. But I'm willing to pay that price. And I'm willing to stand right in the fucking front line. If some of you out there are willing to stand with me. So please share this video. And let's make this shit happen. Fuck these people. They have ruined our lives enough. No more. It's over for them. Please help me with this thing. And let's see what we can do to try to get back our lives, our freedom, our happiness, our sense of peace and well-being. Let's try to get it back. And let's do it now. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll talk to you next time. Thank you.